What's happening, Who Dat Nation? Happy Monday. Before we get into today's Saints trade rumors, take 10 seconds for me. Go down, hit the thumbs up icon. The bosses said we couldn't get 500 likes, and I told them, you know what? It's the Who Dat Nation. Of course we can. So let's get 500 likes on today's video. Otherwise, I may not get to go live on Wednesday. I don't know. Well, I don't make the rules. I'm just here to make some videos. So hit the thumbs up icon and let's get this party started. So let's talk about Jeffery Simmons, the defensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans out of Mississippi State. The 25-year-old, could he be traded? Because the Titans are kind of in a rebuild / reload / retool period. Ran Carthon, the new GM over there, could he be looking to dump Jeffery Simmons to save some money? The 25-year-old rookie is on his, or 25-year-old, is on the last year of his rookie contract. And recently, I think it's so funny we have to mention this in sports media nowadays, but recently he deleted pictures and unfollowed the Titans on Instagram. So any pictures he had where he was wearing Titans stuff, repping Tennessee, they're gone. So interesting to note, but let's talk about why let's explore why we're talking about this, because Colin Saunders, Kyle Granderson, Cameron Jordan, Nathan Shepard, those are your 4 defensive linemen that are going to be starting. Malcolm Roach, he re-signed with the Saints. They made it official today by putting pen to paper. Shout out Malcolm Roach. Welcome back to New Orleans. But I think that defensive interior is something that you should go and explore here. And I have some more thoughts on this, and we're going to get into it. But I just want to get a quick reaction out of y'all. I just want y'all to take a quick second. Let me know, just T for trade, P for pass, really fast. Should the Saints trade for Jeffery Simmons? Let me know. Just scroll on down, and let's keep talking ball. So with Jeffery Simmons, this is the kind of player that you would be getting if you pulled off this trade. 54 tackles, 7.5 sacks. 14 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss. And notably, the guy hits the quarterback. He is seeking out that quarterback like a dog seeks out a treat. Shout out Aspen. But that being said, last year had 8.5 sacks. So, I mean, it was kind of, he gets out there. He gets out there, and he's going to make a quarterback's life a living hell. And how the financials work out, Simmons has a $10.75 million cap hit in 2023. Currently, the Saints have roughly $15 to $16 million in cap space, meaning you could go make this move, and you obviously have to pay your rookies $3 to $4 million. So realistically, it's like $13 to $14 million of cap space in terms of how much they have. That being said, I think that you could go and make this move, and it would be kind of interesting. I actually would love it. And here's some reasons as to why I would make the trade. He could be a foundational piece in the future of the defensive line, especially on that interior. Cameron Jordan, he's not getting any younger. You got to have somebody who's going to hold it down for you. He fills a position of need for the Saints, and obviously they address the defensive line. They've been addressing it in free agency. I expect them to go and explore that or address that as well in the NFL draft. More than likely earlier rather than later. We have another guy who might be, the reason that doesn't happen on the back end of today's show. He's still 25 years old, so he's young. He's a talented cat that can make something happen at just 25 years old, and he has 1 year left on his rookie deal, meaning the Saints could go get him and extend him and have him around for a while. And I think that it would be a very beneficial idea for the Saints to explore. And here's the trade idea that I cooked up. Now, I understand. Maybe this might not be enough. Maybe this might be too much. Maybe you guys don't want to give this much or you want to give up other draft picks. But this is what I would do if I'm the Saints and I'm Mickey Loomis and I'm in the war room. I'm like, you know what? Let's call Ran Carthon. Let's see what's happening here. I would offer up a 2023 first-round pick, your 29th overall pick, and then next year's second-round pick. And I would even honestly be okay with adding in another pick in 2024. I think that this is a player that could be very beneficial to the Saints defense. I think he could be a cornerstone piece and an asset moving forward for the Saints defensive line. He's a dog. The guy is so talented, and he is such a force to be reckoned with on the defensive line. And he gets to the quarterback, which is something that the Saints have had trouble with last season and the season before. So let me know, Who Dat Nation. I want you to be the GM. Put yourself in the shoes of Mickey Loomis. What would you offer in a trade for Jeffery Simmons? Would you do a second-round pick? Would you do a first-round pick? Throw in a player? Let me know, Who Dat Nation. Be the GM. And also, while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. Guys, come on now. Don't be messing around. Don't pull no shiesties, no fugazis. Hit the sub button because you will be subscribing for 5 awesome things. The first one being you will get Saints draft coverage. We do all sorts of fun NFL draft coverage. Even on the back end of this video, we have an interview with Jaxon Smith-Njigba that we're going to show when we had people out at the Combine. This is the best spot to get all of your draft coverage. NFL free agency buzz. We've been making videos nonstop almost every single day, sometimes even multiple videos a day, and lives, and YouTube shorts, and community page. Point being, you're getting the best NFL free agency content. And we take pride here at Saints Now that what we do is informative, but it's also entertaining. Not only are you just going to get the stats fed to you, you're not going to just get analysis, but you're going to have a fun twist on it, and it's from a Saints fan to a Saints fan. You also get live shows. We're going to be live on Wednesday. Shout out to my guy, producer Patrick Seaman. He's going to be on the ones and twos for me. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have had a good time every Wednesday that we have gone live, so lock us in for that. And then it's also free videos about your favorite team. You're not going to get a bunch of other stuff. Sports Center, ESPN, Pardon the Interruption, all of those teams or all of those channels, they all just talk about the Cowboys, Aaron Rodgers, and whatever Tom Brady's up to, even though he's retired. We here at Saints Now by Chat Sports talk about the New Orleans Saints every single video. So lock us in and subscribe today. Let's talk about trading up for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. The Saints, now while we're talking about this, they have an extensive history of trading up in the NFL draft, especially on draft day. And I think I believe if the stats correct, from 2008 to 2014, there was only 1 year that they didn't trade up in the NFL draft to go make a pick, and I believe it was in 2012. But let's look at the wide receiver depth chart and why we're talking about this. Michael Thomas, he's a great wide receiver. He's a dominant wide receiver when he's healthy. It's just a matter of if and when he is healthy. Chris Olave, he's a dog. I love Chris Olave. He's really good at football. It's going to be the future of this offense. Rashid Shaheed. I have had the need for speed for Shaheed for so damn long. Everyone at this company can sit here and agree with me that I'm the one who started this movement. But Traquan Smith, I don't know if I want to be giving him starting reps. So from my seat, here's how this looks. I love that Michael Thomas is back. But outside of Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Juwan Johnson, who wasn't listed because he's a tight end, the Saints could really use another talented pass catcher, because when you take a look at how Jaxon Smith-Njigba and Chris Olave compared to each other in last year or in 2021, and as we remember, the Saints jumped up and moved up to go get Chris Olave because they viewed him as a can't-miss prospect. And if the Saints view Jaxon Smith-Njigba the same way, they could possibly look to do the same thing. And also, I want you guys to just soak in these stats. I showed this graphic a couple of videos ago, but soak these stats in. Bear in mind that Jaxon Smith-Njigba was doing this with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, also in the locker room, who Garrett Wilson was also a first-round pick. So talent is there. It's hard to dispute it. And obviously, he missed time with that hamstring injury this past season. You hate to see that, but, Jaxon Smith-Njigba could be a very, very fun, very interesting draft pick. And one of the cool things about the NFL draft is these awesome draft hats that they come out with every single year. So if you want to get geared up and you want to rep the exact same lids that the Saints players are going to be rocking when their names are called on draft day, go to chatsports.com/Saints hat. I will have the link in the comment section and the description of today's video. I'm going to pick mine up here at the end of the month once our paycheck gets in, so I encourage you to do the same. They dropped today, so you could literally be the first one in your squad to have a Saints draft hat for this year. So go get geared up, chatsports.com/Saints hat. Again, link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. So I brought this segment out a couple of videos ago, and I've been trying to test it out, and it seemed to be a pretty fun one that y'all enjoyed. So let's talk chat stats. So for today's segment in chat stats, the Saints have landed 14 former Buckeyes on its roster since 2014. And out of the last 7 drafts, 5 picks that have been in the first or second round have been an Ohio State Buckeye. So the Saints love their Buckeyes. That pipeline and that connection has always been strong, and it seems to continue to stay strong. So let's scout Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Here's a scouting profile that I came up with. So he does have a 71.4 contested catch rate. And then in 2021, he had a he was 90% contested catches. So 9 out of 10 times. And it was exactly 10 contested catch opportunities. He came down with 9 out of them. He has great NFL size and speed. He is aggressive and can track down the deep ball. Even though he is a slot guy, he can still line up and be a deep threat for opposing defenses. He was sidelined due to the hamstring injury during 2022. He missed most of the season. And the pro comp he got was actually Jarvis Landry, which I thought was pretty interesting because if you remember with that depth chart, Jarvis Landry was missing because Saints haven't re-signed him. The Saints need a slot guy. I don't love Tre'Quan Smith being your starting slot guy. The Saints, again, they did have a pre-draft meeting with JSN. I would assume it went well. I haven't seen really much about how it went, but like I mentioned earlier, we have a quick 30-second clip of an interview from our guys whenever they were at the NFL Scouting Combine. And we talked to Jaxon Smith-Njigba, and here's what he had to say on Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. I thought it was interesting. I posted this as a short a while back, but I just wanted to get this in front of more of the Who Dat Nation because I think it's kind of cool what he has to say.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely proud of seeing how those guys, went to the league and, did their thing. But it doesn't say too much about me. I got to go in and prove it and, be myself, So, they did their thing and, I'm definitely proud of them. It definitely gives me a confidence booster. And, it definitely gets me a little ready to go out there and perform. And, but yeah, I'm my own man. I got to go out there and get it done, period.
Shout out Tom Downey and Sam Brown for getting that awesome clip for us, guys. Show some love. Hit the thumbs up icon. Again, I told you there's no better place to get content like this. Who else is doing what we're doing? Not very many channels. So in terms of why the Saints would need to trade up, here's 5 wide receiver needy teams. And notice this. They are all picking. I made sure to only pick teams that were, ahead of the Saints in the draft. So the Falcons at number 8 overall, they need wide receivers. Drake London and Kyle Pitts aren't that good. Tennessee Titans, they're at 11 overall. I could see them doing a lot of different things with the draft. I could see them wanting to, add to their draft picks. Who knows what could happen there? Ran Carthon's doing a lot of crazy things over in Tennessee. New England, at number 14 overall, could they look to add a wide receiver to help out Mac Jones and bring in some more talent? They brought in Juju. D-Hop could be an option for them. I don't know what's going to go on in New England, but I can tell you this. I would love for the Saints to go jump to number 14 for that pick or to jump ahead of New England for that pick for that matter. Green Bay, they are picking at number 15. They just lost Alan Lazard. You lost Aaron Rodgers. You lost everything. I mean, they have no choice but to surround Jordan Love with wide receivers and with weapons, so I assume that they're going to do this in the draft. You got to, JSN, if he's there, he's going to Green Bay. So you definitely want to jump up to over at least 15. And then Baltimore is picking at number 22 overall. I don't think he falls that far. I think that he's going to go in the top 15. But let me know, Who Dat Nation. This show isn't about me. It's all about you guys. Should the Saints trade up for Jaxon Smith-Njigba? Type Y for yes, Type in for no. Again, I would love for JSN to fall to the Saints. I just don't see that being the case. I think if JSN is going to be wearing black and gold, it's going to be because the Saints trade up to go get him. But one more thing, Who Dat Nation, before y'all hop on out of here, please hit me up and follow me on social media. I am at Trace Girouard48 on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm also at TraceG1234 on TikTok. If you want to give me a follow there, I post a lot of content there as well. Hit me up. I'm always down to chop it up with the Who Dat Nation. If you follow me, DM me, real one, so I know you came from this video. I'll follow you back, and I'll give you a shout-out on Twitter. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. It is always a pleasure. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.